And that's
Oh.
it's not typical for me
I
at
don't know.
all. So
Hello.
things change. I do.
Okay. So what have we got? A notice on.
Yeah, we had a notice.
Oh, continue. There we go.
Being recorded.
Yes, Patsy had to go to emergency yesterday with her
Oh.
back,
Oh dear.
and Audrey can't come, so they've
Oh.
sent me a couple of emails reminding me to record it. So I thought I'll just have it on. So I don't
Yeah.
forget.
Now,
Okay.
6 minutes early.
That's okay.
So
So it's going to be a small class.
yes,
Yeah.
Nice thing about the class, it doesn't matter how many people. We're just
Well,
doing
you know
our
what?
own thing.
Small class all the time when you're on Zoom.
Yeah.
There's you and the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Small class.
I actually had 9 people in my
Oh,
new brain body fitness class Monday.
Beautiful.
hurrah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Beautiful.
Are they from all over the place?
From coast to coast. 2 from
Excellent.
Michigan, 1 from Sharon Promislow, who you probably know.
Karen, yes.
Yeah,
I haven't heard her name for a long time.
Yeah, and Judy Thompson from Winnipeg. She's Judy Thompson. She's another brain gym instructor.
Mhm.
Who else? A woman from Ottawa. 2 from Calgary. Friends of mine who are both in their 80s. And then 2 women younger women from one who brought her family with her from Michigan, who
Wow.
are
Nice.
learning the movement exploration work.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Very
it's great. And so what a range from somebody who's never done or heard of brain gym to a couple of people who've been doing brain gym for Sharon for as long as, and Judy for I think as long as I have. So
That's great.
yeah. So I think that's plenty bright. And how are everybody? How are all of
Good.
you, I guess is.
Yeah, it's warm, so it's warm, so I'll just really work slowly because it's very warm. Everybody finds it warm, but I definitely will not do anything extra in the heat.
Yes, it's
I
supposed to be.
close my-
Go ahead, Patricia.
just saying, I close my curtains and everything, when the sun is going to come in here and keep everything enclosed. And then it hasn't been getting too hot in my place now. So that's
Oh, I was just
nice.
going to ask that. I'm so glad because it's supposed to be 29 here and I think 30 in Calgary. So
Yeah,
That's what
2 weeks,
saying. So
2 weeks ago, we had snow
yeah.
Yeah.
for a
It's
bit.
pretty rough.
So
And
Put 20 degrees here.
2 weeks ago was winter. Last week was spring. We announced summer.
yeah, but now it's a heat wave,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not just summer, it's a heat wave. So yes, lots of water, and I'll just take it easy, Dana.
Okay.
That's what
Good
I'll
idea.
do.
So I think I didn't widen. There we go.
Okay.
I signed up for that Proven Summit that's on
Oh yeah, I saw that.
yesterday.
Pardon?
Oh, you didn't go to. You didn't.
No, I didn't.
You saw that it's going to be on.
I saw there
They
was gonna be.
talked about EFT, tapping, breathing, so much about brain gym, although they didn't mention brain gym, but the same things.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah.
fabulous. It was
Yeah.
very, very good.
All the energy psychology.
Yes.
That's super.
Did you see it? Are you aware of it, Marietta?
Yes, I'm aware of it, but I decided that I really am not going to be tempted by anything until I am really kind of I need, we need
I'm
to
with you, Dana, 100%, like all
Yeah.
of that. It's too much of it on the go, right?
yeah. I
Uh-huh.
need to get the gardening done. I need to clean
Just
out the
be-
I need to do all those practical things that just
Yeah,
always
just
get
be
done to the
grounded.
side.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing one summit at a time, and I chose this Proven, and I was happy yesterday, that's for sure.
Well, I'm glad you're seeing it, Patricia. And next
Yeah.
time we see each other, I'll find out some more
Free.
about it, hopefully.
It's free.
So let's do our polyvagal pace with our ears.
Yes. So if you're taping this, Dana, will you send it out?
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So did you all actually already do pace?
I did.
Okay, so we'll just do the polyvagal stuff so we can get on, because I've done pace as well.
Okay.
So I still do these 3 times, like when we do thinking caps.
Yeah.
And I'll take everybody through my version of the polyvagal. So this includes a little brain gym as well as polyvagal, but we will skip the regular pace stuff that you've been doing for ages.
Okay.
Then we're going to press into the either side of the bridge of the nose. I just find with my fingernails, it feels better if I use my thumbs, but you don't have to use your thumbs. And then we're just going to pitter patter around the orbits of our eyes. And then make the circle bigger. And then let's go right down to our jaws. And a little energy yawn, if that'll come.
Okay.
Okay, and then palms over the eyes and a nice deep breath. Palms over the chin when you're, or the jaw when you're ready, and a nice deep breath. Lisa's translated this into French as tonification polyvagal. Polyvagal tonification. And I like that word, the idea of toning our polyvagal nerve system. Moving on down to our, let's just do some nice massage across under the sternum. We get quite a few different points there. And coming on down to our heart. Bonnie Brainbridge Cohen speaks about toning the body like tuning an instrument. Just like when you tune a violin or a harp or a guitar, you're adjusting the tension of the strings to the right frequency. So I like that idea of thinking of, if we're toning our body or toning our muscles, we're tuning it to a healthy frequency. our solar plexus. Our navel chakra area, belly, dantian. One hand back up to the heart. One more breath. And the last gesture of polyvagal toning is palms up, ready to receive, ready to connect. So let's just do the switching. I don't know if everybody did this that I normally do. So this is from the top of the pubic bone to under the lip and then over the lip. Our central vessel, central meridian, eyes tracking down and up. Move the eyes up as far as you can, and then maybe a little further. See if you can get those muscles to activate, and then back down again. Switching hands. Eyes going up. And then a little bit further. Eyes coming back down. And maybe let's just pause for a moment and just feel our center line. Feel our center line. That central axis, which can extend to infinity, right? Right out the top of your head and right down the soles of your feet to the center of the earth. And then move one hand to the sacrum. And looking out into the distance. Now, my friend Greg does this one a little bit differently, and I've been playing with this. I love the eye swings and coordinating it with the breath, but here's another way. Look at things at different distance. So you could start in the distance and use your eyes to trace the outline of an object, like a tree or something. And then find another object that's at a different distance. Like now I'm looking at the pots on top of my stove and tracing those. And then coming into something close and tracing the outlines of that with my eyes. Just a different way of doing the same thing. Sort of, I guess. And then switch hands. Just again, calling our attention to that we're in three-dimensional space, right? That we don't live all our lives in a screen or just in relation to a screen. And then once again, pause with your hands just still and noticing your breathing. And then noticing that line as the vision from the far distant future comes in. And then imagine the line that extends then from the present straight through your body back, way back into the past behind you. And let's just do a little metaphoric thing. Turn to the back, and maybe something will come up in your consciousness from your past that you really valued. A value that you want to bring forward into the present. Maybe there's something that you haven't thought about for a while. And then because that's that Sankofu proverb from Africa. And then because I like to do everything on both sides, let's turn around to the other side and do the same thing. And when you're ready, let's do the owl. I don't know that we've done that for a while, but I think we're going to focus a little bit on some rotation today. So. And change hands when you're ready. Okay, so it is still officially spring, and spring is a time for detoxification. And so let's do our neurolymphatics. We haven't done those for a while. And so I think you probably all know that our lymph system is our garbage collector system, that helps us to detox. And when we stimulate the neurolymphatic system, we can help to release some of the toxins in our body. So you might want to make sure you have enough water today, because we might loosen some things up. So I find it easier to do this sitting down. So starting with our thighs, and actually I like to do both sides of my thigh at the same time. One thigh, I find that easier than doing the insides and then the outside. So we're rubbing all the inside and the outside of our thighs. Okay, then the top of the pubic bone. Alongside the navel, on either side of the navel. There are actually 3 spots on each side. I just do them all together with my fingers. Then underneath the rib cage, stroking out. Now this one, these all also relate to specific organs, and I never learned those except that because Greg did this on me the other day. I know this is small intestine.
Yeah.
So helps assimilation. Okay, and then I do both sides. This one is, I know, for the liver, but just on the right, but I do both sides. And along the spine, this is also spleen reflex. Spleen helps us to relax. I mean, spleen does a lot of things. But on the emotional side, it helps us to relax. And we call it body regulators in Brain Gym. Then under the nipples, again, I do both sides. all up the sternum. And again, under the collarbone, all across here, lung, I believe. Then we have the arms, both inside and outside again, of the upper arms, just like with our thighs. Yeah, I think it's a good thing in the spring to add some of this. So then back as much of your shoulder blade as you can reach. There are specific points, but you know, we all will have different ability to reach there, but so I just get what you can underneath as well. Anyway, I don't know if I completed my thought, you know, to maybe, if you do pace every morning, to maybe add some of the neurolymphatics to it at this time of year. And then there are points all along the spine. So just reach down as low as you can on either side of the spine and just rub all the way up. Go right up to the occiput at the base of the skull. And then reach up and get as much as you can of the lower spine. You know, there are ways to kind of get these by rolling on balls and stuff as well. And go right down on both sides here under the pelvic ridge and right down the sacrum. And we've done it.
Wonderful.
So let's stand up again. And I want a little more light here. And let's do our shaking the tree. So first of all, feeling your feet, feel the soles of your feet and the floor contact. Just draw your awareness to that meeting, like if you were going to touch, you know, somebody's body. You're touching Mother Earth's body with your feet. And then we're just going to allow ourselves to release the energy into the earth, and then the earth rebounds, or the energy from the earth rebounds through our body. And if I really focus on the contact of my feet, I can start to feel that sense of rebound from the earth. It's kind of a very subtle yield and push, like we've worked on with our hands and forearms. And if you feel any resistance in any part of your body, just notice it and see if it can dissolve. I like to think of like, you know, warm molten chocolate sliding down my body. Letting go of your shoulders. Letting go of tension in your hips. We often hold a lot of tension there. And see if you can feel the connection now from the soles of your feet to the top of your head and out through the top of your head. So that energy from the earth rebounds up to your legs, and then it joins through your psoas muscle all the way up your spine and out the top of your head. And can you feel like water dripping from all your fingertips? Imagine maybe like when it rains in a tree and the water drips off the leaves of the tree. And then when you're ready to stop, just notice the stillness. Notice the energy of stillness. The vibrations in your body. Okay, so I'm gonna encourage you to get a drink of water. Help flush out those toxins, and also it's warm. Is it warm there in England?
27 degrees, yeah.
Okay. We're going to go down to the floor in constructive rest position, and I'll direct you through the next part. I'll put my screen down, but I'm hoping you won't really need to look. You can just follow.
Lost everything.
Okay, I had something planned, but I just had a thought. Would you folks like to do the sack of sand? Like, would you like more relaxation today or more activation?
Oh, I'll go for relaxation.
Okay, Marietta's for relaxation. Ruth, which would you prefer?
Activation.
Patricia?
Oh, no, I have to break the tie, but I'm for the relaxation.
It's okay.
Okay, and I had planned activation. So we'll see if we can do a little bit of both. Okay.
Sounds good.
Good evening.
What did you say?
Let's have a little bit of each.
Okay. So in
Okay.
constructive rest. Arms, your choice, whether you want them open or closed, and just take a couple of nice deep breaths and allow the earth to hold your body. Your feet. The earth held all of you through your feet, but now you're giving it a chance to hold the entire length of your torso in your head and your feet. With the next breath or two, notice the movement of your breath in your body. And feel free to place your hands wherever you want to, if that will help you feel the movement. So there's the movement of the organs in your belly with each breath. There's the movement of the ribs. including the movement of the sternum. There's the movement of the lungs expanding inside the rib cage. And now let's just use our imagination and imagine that all that oxygen that the air that is taken into your lungs, that the oxygen is going to diffuse through your entire system. So we call this whole body breathing. It's like visualizing cellular respiration. So imagine that breath, that intake of oxygen is spreading all the way down to the tips of your toes and the soles of your feet. Just visualize that. And if you like, imagine there's a cloud of color over you, and you're inhaling this cloud of color, or just turn the air into color, whatever it is. And imagine as it comes into your body, it takes on whatever color feels good to you right now. What color would you enjoy painting the inside of your body? So paint that color all the way down to your toes. The oxygen is going to carry that color. And now let's carry that color all the way down the length of your spine. And out across the back of your hips, your pelvis. Feel the widening of the spine at the sacrum. Those vertebrae, fan out into that kind of, it's almost like a shell shape to me, a rather flattish shell. All the way out to the wings of your pelvis. If you don't like my path, you can do your own. And then all the way up to the top of your skull. And swirl that color all around inside your skull. And you may notice that by this time that your skull has gotten heavier, hopefully. And maybe you need to slightly lift your head off and set it back down to adjust, because maybe some muscles have released in your occiput. And lastly, let's take that color from your heart area out across your chest into your shoulders. Let's take some of it out into the tips of the shoulder blades, your wings, and extend your wings way broad on the floor. So your upper back is very broad. Reach those wings, or I'll say extend those wings wide along the floor. And then take the color through your arms, way through to the tips of your fingers. Let's take that color all the way out to the tip of your tongue. Relax your tongue. And imagine the connection from your tip of the tongue to the soles of your feet. We actually, our fascia from the tip of our tongue, from our tongue to our feet, there's a connection. through our fascia. And the fascia is a kind of, I guess there are various kinds of fascia that have different degrees of consistency, but basically it's kind of a sticky, gooey, connective substance that connects all of our insides together. And I think that's just amazing to think of the connection from our tongue to our feet. I haven't read details about it yet, but I just thought another connection in our body we haven't worked with. And relax your jaw. And then allow your head slight rocking, like slight rotating. We did it with Al, but very small micro movements. Just gently rolling a little bit. Feel the smoothness of the back of the skull rolling on the surface. I hope you're not on a hard floor. I assume by now you know when we're doing constructive rest that you need to have something, whether you have just a carpet. I have a carpet, so I don't worry about it, but I hope you have something so it's comfortable to do this micro rocking of the head. Dr. Bloomberg, the developer of rhythmic movement training, states in his book that if you do this before you go to bed, you'll have good dreams. At least that's what he tells the kids. I don't know. I haven't really tried an extended experiment. And then maybe slowing down that rotation, allowing it to become a little bigger. And just see how far your head wants to rotate. Feeling the weight of the head roll from one side to the other, like a rolling pin rolling out pastry. You can do it super slow if you want to. I'm not going to give us 10 minutes to do this. We did that in Bonnie Brainbridge Cohen's classes, but breathing, continuing to feel the weight of your head and releasing into it. You might find some resistance from some muscles, so just notice that. And just breathe into the resistance. And maybe those muscles will release a little bit. And maybe you can go a little further. Okay, I want to work on the hip joints a bit, and we'll activate our legs a bit. But we'll start with that imagery. I just love that, of the two mountains of our knees and our snowy kneecaps that are going to melt down our thighs into our pelvis. So our pelvis becomes this vast lake. And maybe as the water pours into the lake, the lake is going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to, like if you pour water into a bowl, the circle of the water is going to get bigger, wider and wider and wider in all directions. So let's imagine that happening in our pelvis, because one of the things we want to do is widen across the back of the pelvis, actually. So the bowl gets bigger and bigger, and the muscles in the back of our pelvis are going to relax, because we can often hold a lot of tension in our glutes. And then if you like, you can use the image of the fishing pole, taking a hold. Let's do our right. Well, you can do whichever one you want, but I'll give my directions from the right. You're going to find the center of that hip socket where the ball joint is. And from that point, you're going to rotate that ball, tipping the thigh back towards your chest, and then let it go. And let's put our hands on our belly again, on that beautiful lake, placid lake, and make sure as we tilt the thigh towards our lake, we're not causing the lake to bulge up. And then just let it drop again. And see if that pelvis will remain calm and steady. Don't tilt the ball and spill the water. So you've all done this with me, so I think you know what we're up to here. Finding how you can do that thigh flexion using gravity and finding how to control it just from the deep within the hip socket and not by recruiting every muscle in your belly to try and flex your thigh. Also, when you flex your thigh, I just noticed that I was using my ankle a little bit. I was flexing my foot to do it. You don't need to do that. Your foot, is a fish, it's just dangling. It's a limped fish. Or a limp tassel of yarn. Maybe it's a beautiful tassel. It's just hanging there, being pretty. Okay, now the next time you flex your thigh, let's all go to the work on the right side because we're going to alternate. Hopefully, has everybody alternated?
Yeah.
Great. So this time, you're going to flex your thigh. You're going to drop your foot to the floor, but you're going to let your foot continue to slide along the floor, slide away from you without changing the orientation of the pelvis. And you may feel a little lengthening of the muscle. This would be the psoas muscle. So this is a really gentle way to stretch your psoas muscle. And just allow that length to happen. So you're lengthening all the way along the leg. Let the floor hold it long. And at the same time, you're lengthening out the back of your neck. So don't use your neck, don't arch your neck to lengthen your leg. And then retrace that. So your knee is going to move skyward, and your heel is going to start to trace a line on the floor back towards your hips. Take a deep breath and then flex the other thigh, folding the thigh towards your chest, letting it drop back to the floor and continuing to slide your foot along the floor in a line away from your torso. Feel the lengthening of the psoas muscle gently. Lengthening out the back of the neck and the head. So we've done that, right? You know where we're sending. It's like sending from the top of the head, from the anterior fontanelle, the baby soft spot, is reaching toward the wall behind you. Not like a push, just imagine it. So the back of the neck stays long and relaxed. And then draw the heel back up toward your foot. Now we're going to do this in a more active way. So we're going to do a thigh flexion. We're going to, as soon as we drop the heel to the floor, we're going to let it slide out long. And then like a rebound, it's going to come right back up. So our thigh is flexed, our foot is hanging loose, and then drop it to the ground. You can watch me if you like, but hopefully you just understand. So it's flexing the thigh. When you allow the thigh to go, it's going to go all the way to the length, and then it's going to rebound. So in rhythm, once you get the hang of it, it's long and rebound and drop to the floor. Flex, allow it to release and rebound and drop. Allow it to release and rebound and drop. Allow it to release and rebound and drop. Now we're going to do something. We're going to just listen. We're going to flex the thigh. This time when we release it all the way, we're going to actually then lift the leg or fold the whole leg long up toward the ceiling, whatever is comfortable. Then you're going to allow it to go long back down slowly, hopefully without gripping, but controlling it from that area that we found, and then bring it back up and drop. So this is a longer sequence. So I'll do it again. Fold toward your chest, stretch the leg long, lift it up to the ceiling, toes pointing toward the sky, and then slowly lower down, reaching away from you, and reaching away from your hip as you reach your head away from you, and then flex and drop. So what I was trying to say there was that as the foot reaches long away from you in one direction, your head is continuing to reach long in the other direction. So the whole length of the back of the body, so we don't use our neck to try to effort to aid the lengthening. See, it's about keeping the jaw relaxed again. Another thing you might, if lengthening through the back of the neck isn't working for you, think of just relaxing the jaw, loose jaw. Okay, so here we go. Flex, lengthen up, lower slowly down to the floor, draw it up, and drop it back down. Other side. Flex, lengthen long and reach up. Lengthen way down, your toes stretching away from you, away from you, away from you, away from you, away from you. Bring the knee up and drop it down. Other side again. Flex, lengthen long, reach up. Lengthen, lengthen, long, 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 away from you. And then flex up and drop. Again, flex, lengthen long and up. Lengthen away from you, 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 away from you. And flex and come down. Okay, I gotta look at the time. Okay. I think we should do a little bit with our arms. So arms out to the side. Let's do the same one we've been doing about the cloud. We won't do, we were gonna do rotation, weren't we? Okay, I wanna do that. Everybody, let's flex our thighs and just do a baby roll from side to side. So this is the whole body rolling. It's not the yoga stretch, but you roll from one side to the other. So you're basically in a fetal position, rolling like a baby. Fold your arms in so they're out of the way. See if you can do this and leave the head on the ground as you roll. So you're rolling all the way over to a little bit toward your forehead, and then rolling all the way back to the other side, rolling. Take it at your own speed, breathing and rolling. Okay, then roll onto your favorite side. And if you're comfortable, lay your head on your arm. If this is really uncomfortable, you could use a pillow under your head. you're going to have your thighs and lower legs at 90-degree angles. So you're still sort of in a fetal position, but
Mhm.
move your feet out in line with your knees. So you're in a real stable position on your side. Okay. Take your arm that you're not laying on and give a little rub to the spot at the top of your head that we know about. This is for you, Ruth. And then your tailbone, because we're going to work on that spinal movement on our sides. I don't think we've done this, at least not for a long time. So the whole idea is now reach with that spot at the top of your head long and feel your body reaching up toward that. And then reach your tailbone down away. So you're going to slowly rock longitudinally along your spine. It doesn't have to be a big movement. Reaching the spot at the top of the head, and then reach down with your tail. Reach up with the top of your head, and you can do it as slowly as you want. The dancer in me wants to create a rhythm for you, but find your own rhythm. Maybe you want to sync it to your breath. This is something you can do also if I'm having trouble sleeping at night or getting to sleep. Sometimes I roll and do this. Now we're going to change the initiation of the movement. This time, rather than reaching with the top of your head, I want you to push your tailbone up, like you're pushing from your tailbone up through your spine, up through the top of your head, and then the head reaches. And then push the top of your head down through the body. That is, not down to the floor, but down toward your tail until your tailbone reaches. And then push from your tailbone up to the top of your head. Push from the top of your head down toward your tailbone. You may get a different feeling this way. And then let's push ourselves with our hands right up to side sitting. This is the proper way to get out of bed. Use your hands. You'd swing your legs over the bed. In this case, we're going to put our feet in front of us, soles together. Or if that position is difficult, you could cross your legs, whatever works for you. Marietta.
Thank you.
And we're going to do our rings that we did last time. So this is reaching forward low in front of our feet.
Yep.
Okay, around to the diagonal back, up and over top to the high side. So we're doing all dimensions. So forward low. I think this is your right back diagonal. And then your high left. Forward low. Right back diagonal. High left. So we're making a diagonal. We're cutting a circle through the air, or a ring that's on a diagonal. Okay, and see if you can recall how we lead with our fingertips and make sure that our shoulder blade is helping us, that there's a connection from our little finger to the tip of our shoulder blade as we make this ring with the body. It's a wonderful scooping movement, and then it opens to that beautiful high side position. Experiment following your fingers with your eyes if you haven't been doing that. So follow the movement of your fingers with wonder. And then let's change to the other arm. Forward low. I believe it's your left back diagonal. High right. Forward low. Left back diagonal. High right. And swoop around. Remember to engage your shoulder blade. Reaching. Now the connection from your fingertips to your shoulder blade, just like we did the connection from our tailbone to the top of our head. And follow your fingertips with your eyes. And now let's take a nice big hug with both hands. So come forward, just with both hands at the same time. We'll do a hug, and then we'll open to the high sides. Reach forward, hug, lift, and the lifting of the elbows lifts the head toward the ceiling, and forward, and lift, opening our chest, and forward, we curve in, hug, we lift, and open. Our heart is open to the sky. Okay, so let's roll over and stand up. So last week we did the first half of the Qigong. So this week, let's do the second half of the Qigong, because we're going to start with kind of a similar movement. It's not exactly the same, but hopefully that prepared you for it. So we're going to start, let's just get a drink of water. And I didn't think about doing this. I don't know how the recording does this. Just for the ladies who are going to have to do this later on, I'm pinning myself. Okay. So we're going to move off into the lunge, but let's just do the opening movement. And I don't think I need that light on over the top. That looks better. Okay, and stepping forward with one leg. Lift and open. So we don't actually have the hug in there, but we've got the forward low. And we've got the high sides. Feel that contact with the floor on the soles of your feet. Transition. Leg back, other leg forward. So we get, with this movement, a rebound from one leg to the other, from the earth. That same thing that we worked on with the shaking of the tree. that yield and push. And think of that, the yield into the earth, and then the earth pushes back and you shift weight. Transition. Step back. And here we have the rowing the boat. Can you relax your jaw like we did? Can you lengthen out the back of your neck as you move? And feel the length from the tip of your tailbone out to the top of your head. So the movement forward and back all happens in your legs and your hip joint as well. Okay? We're not leaning. We maintain our balance. Because again, we have that rebound onto the back leg and then the rebound onto the front leg. Transition. Step back, change legs. Transition, step back, change legs. Now here we have that movement we really worked on last week, embracing the clouds and the little baby bird in front of each of our shoulders. So we have that space. When I do this, I actually feel the elongation through the muscles on the both on the front of my chest and upper arms and the back. So I'm really widening through my elbows like we did when we rolled our arm lying on our backs and our fingertips stretched around and we were embracing the cloud. In transition. So when we do that, we're actually stretching our fascia. We don't have to hold a pose to do that. Transition. Focus on that connection from your little finger, even though it's bent. So now it's the energy is from the knuckle of the little finger and the connection with the shoulder blade. Like an elastic band that rebounds from the tip of the shoulder blade to the tip of the little finger. Transition. Can you feel the length, the width through those wings that we talked about lying on the floor? So as your arms fly up like a goose, imagine that coming from the wings that start with your shoulder blades, like your shoulder blades extend into wings, lengthening out to the side as your arms go up. As if you were to initiate that movement from your back. Powerful geese who can fly from one end of the earth to the other. Transition, arms come up. We go around. Transition. And reverse. And then finally, our cross crawl movements. Changing to homolateral. And double. Here, that spinal movement we practiced supports us as we move from one side to the other. Changing to cross lateral. So do you still feel that lengthened spine in between, suspending you easily from one side to the other? And we're doing the same movement we did lying on the ground. And finally, our rises. I didn't draw attention to this before, but actually we can rise up, if you like, onto the balls of your feet. So again, feeling that connection from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Suspended, easily hanging from the top of your head. How effortless can that be? Transition to the finish. And there we have it.
Oh, thank you so much, Dana.
You are welcome.
Everybody take it easy for the day and night.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope we had at least a little bit of relaxation and a little bit of activation.
That was very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.